What's up, weaves, and welcome back to Anime Lane, the podcast where we take you down the yellow brick road of anime and have a look at everything it has to offer. As always, I am your host, Notorious, and joining me today is Shaun.
Hello there.
And Melina.
Woo.
And once again joining us for his second, but not second appearance on Anime Lane, Manuele.
Hello.
I mean, this might be your second appearance. I'm forgetting we tend to record less Anime Lane than
Could be.
Nap.
Could be. Who knows?
You've definitely been on more than one Nap. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, depends on how we release the episodes.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I'm still trying to get my head back at everything. So this is the first episode of season 2 of Anime Lane. We've been doing this for a whole goddamn year and a bit. A year and some change for us now. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but we recorded all the pilots back in April 2022 and then started releasing in June. So this is the first episode of season 2 where it's going to come out in June. And we're going to do a little award show and look back at our first year and sort of give awards to stuff we've watched.
we need like a stock award theme.
Yeah.
So yes, this is all the stuff from season 1. We're going to take a look back at what we've watched together and give it some awards that we've all written down. I have just brought up the answer sheet for a game we were going to play at the end there.
Oh god.
Spoilers.
No.
Okay, so do we want to just go in the list order, which is going to start from the best stuff and our little funny parts, and then we'll end on the worst parts? At least that's how I have it written down.
I just put best and then worst, best and then worst.
Okay, I mean, I can jump.
I'm fine with anything.
Well,
As long as
just
we follow one person.
You had worsts?
I told you to do worsts.
No.
Yeah,
I
I was like,
best.
oh, for the first few ones. I have a text to prove this to you because I texted you yesterday.
No
Somebody
worries.
fucked up here.
I'm ready.
I sent a message to these guys and said, let's do worst as well as best, which I meant to bring up when we were talking about it.
Is
Anyway.
this the first top 4?
I think so.
We're very
Yeah,
that's
just
good.
best
good.
film, best
Yeah.
animation,
No
best
worries.
music, best story, then
Great.
worst as well. Okay, so
We're always very professional here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay, so we'll follow Melina since I think
Oh,
you
God.
have like a nice order there with best, worst, best, worst.
You shouldn't
Sure.
have mentioned that.
So do we want to start with best film?
Yeah, let's go with like our what we think is the crowning jewel of
Yeah.
the season for each of us.
Well, I think mine's fairly obvious.
Is it Perfect Blue?
It is indeed Perfect Blue.
That I think's a valid choice.
Yeah.
You know, good movie. Hits my little niche. Fucking trippy. Love it. How about you?
It's like a 50-50, but in the end I had Ghost in the Shell and Perfect Blue. And I think it's Perfect Blue. I'm going to give a lot of awards to Perfect Blue.
This was one of the hard parts of like picking everything is like you kind of like looking at the list. I was like, oh, there's some that I've just not brought up at all.
Yeah.
Because my best film is I Think Everyone Can Guess.
Yeah.
I can see it right You can see it. I'm not even shocked.
I'm going to assume it's Ghost in the Shell.
It is indeed Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
We haven't watched anything that can top my favorite film of all time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shaun.
Wolf Children.
Really?
I love
Okay, that's
Really?
interesting.
Wow.
I wasn't quite expecting that to be the best one.
I don't know
for
what
you.
it was specifically about it. It hit me on like a really like personal level.
I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I'm
No.
surprised.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to give you some like context here, I came in with the least amount of preparation because I am dumb.
There's
and I
currently 3
forgot to.
phones with lists out and Shaun with nothing.
I am not the smartest of this group.
No, you are not.
But I knew like immediately when we started this idea that Wolf Children was going to be my best film.
Okay.
So that's the one I have the most confidence in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all downhill from here.
So we're gonna do
Yeah.
worst film next.
The worst film. To me, worst film was the first Gundam we watched.
That's fair.
That's
I think
fair.
that's a
I
fairly valid choice.
don't think there's any movie where I've been more bored and just I don't care.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mainly because I know what I have for mine.
It's just because the premise itself wasn't really, something that interests me.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
not a big sci-fi person,
so
yeah.
it just not much about it to me.
I also
was
think it
entertaining.
has the trouble of being very backloaded with information.
Yeah,
You don't
for
really get
sure.
any context or like story developments until the last 15, 20 minutes of that
Yeah.
film. And then all the story comes in the second and third.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a bit
Exactly.
weird too, because I also had Gundams for some awards. And I was like, it. First of all, I haven't watched them all.
You
So
watched
I
the
feel
first
You've
it's a
only
bit
watched the first
skewed,
one.
Yeah.
and the fact that we don't really have 100% of context and everything that's going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like, oh yeah, it's the most boring one. It's Gundam, but I don't really know if it is. You know, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's weird, like, as someone who's seen a lot of Gundam, I don't really consider the first series, like, at all, like, to be part of what Gundam is.
Oh, right.
It's like it's where it started, but like
Yeah.
it's what came after that really kind of defined the franchise.
Yeah, see, even in that aspect, it's a bit weak because it's not really. I don't know. I feel like we're just judging, at least me, something that's not really.
For me, it just didn't
You know?
work as a film either.
Yeah, no,
it's
it
not-
really
because-
didn't work as a film.
No, we talked about it extensively where its pacing was just all over the place. So it was just a ride.
It is one that you kind of have to see all three almost in like a back-to-back
Yeah.
viewing to get it, but that's then like
Exhausting.
6.5 hours.
You
of-
might as well
of
watch the
content.
show at that
You might
point.
as well
Yeah.
watch the show where you're gonna have like 20-minute chunks to watch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you also have Gundam?
I mean, I didn't have any, but the worst film, I guess it's Gundam. But even there, it's like I feel bad for saying it's a worst film. It just doesn't work as a film.
Yeah. No.
Because
I totally
If
get
I
that.
had to say worst
Yeah.
film, it's absolutely Mamu. What is it called?
Mr.
Absolutely,
Mom, yeah.
that's the worst film. So I'm gonna give it to Mamu. Just I remember.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
Yeah.
My worst is Spirits Within, Final Fantasy.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I completely
You didn't
forgot.
see that one.
I
don't
watched
think.
it, but it wasn't
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
episode. Can I give it to Spirit Fantasy?
You can.
It's actually worse.
I'm switching.
Retroactively.
That is
Yeah,
a bad
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Because like Gundam doesn't work as a movie, and then Lupin is like weird. It's a long,
It's stupid.
winded ending.
Yeah.
But the worst movie, like for plot and acting and everything, is absolutely Final Fantasy.
Spirits Within.
100%. Yes.
I will give a spoiler here. All of my worst have Spirits Within in it.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I don't think much needs to be said on that. We really railed against it
Yeah.
in the episode itself. It's not well animated, it's not well written. They had a long-standing composer for the music they never used and just brought in the most standard Hollywood soundtrack. And it's not even so bad it's good. It's
It doesn't
just
make any sense.
bad.
Yeah.
Does it even relate to Final Fantasy at all?
No.
I mean, except
No.
from Sid, which is
Except
not Sid.
from Sid, no. Chris, I guess they mention. No, hold on, because
I don't think-
they never mention crystals, which is like the main
Yeah.
kind of through factor of all the Final Fantasy stuff. No,
Just leave it. Leave it. Don't think about it. Just don't watch it.
John.
I'm also saying Spirit.
Fair.
We're all kind of
Fair.
united on.
I was
Yeah.
actually also gonna go with Gundam 1 when you mentioned it because I remember that is kind of bad as a
It
movie.
is
but
bad as a
then
movie. Yeah.
The second you mentioned Spirits Within, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely.
I think like we recorded that remotely, and it kind of came in the chasm between today and the last episode we recorded for season 1. So it's like kind of that. Is it first season, second season? Did we record it? Did it happen? Did we watch that?
What's real?
What is real?
There's no reality.
Okay, so best animation.
I picked Ghost in the Shell.
They're very valid.
Yeah, and aesthetically, it just works for me as well.
Well, so it's not my favorite, but I think the best animation is Penguin Highway.
Ah, okay, very
It's like
valid.
technically, I'm like, but it's not my favorite. Like I also like Ghost in the Shell. But if I had to
Yeah.
say best, like it's from a technical level,
Yeah.
technical point of view, Penguin Highway. I also in my notes I have don't like 3D-ish because it was kind of a
Yeah, they
blend.
had some 3D sequences, and when they went into like the sphere,
Yeah.
ocean, sea,
Yeah.
whatever they called it, which I thought could have turned out worse. But I've seen a lot of anime with CG that's just fucking terrible.
What's the
so.
other one? What's the other one that's
Hello
Hello
World?
World?
Hello
I
World was
like,
purely CG, so
Yeah.
that was just weird.
yeah.
Okay.
There are better pure CG animes than that.
I can imagine, yeah.
So for best animation, I also have like on like a technical level, I put Akira because
All right.
It's
Yeah,
my
that makes
second
sense,
choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
and then for like purely just enjoyed, I have Promare, Pancreas, and Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, a promo I get because it's very distinctive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that's where 3D and 2D mesh far better than in the Penguin Highway sequence. But I still love the animation for Penguin Highway, and Pancreas just it tickles the brain.
I was sort of 50-50 on this one, like actually thinking about it, and I sort of ended up with one that was really good for 3D animation, which
Okay.
was the first. I really
Yeah,
liked the first.
that's
Yeah.
very fair.
And-
Again, another pure 3D
Yeah.
one that works.
And in pure like style, I loved Promare.
Yeah.
And I just love that style. It felt very energetic and very sort of.
I'm a
colourful.
sucker for Studio Trigger style, and that's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much their style. So the worst animation.
I couldn't think of any in particular.
What did
I
you
was
think
just
about Final
like
Fantasy?
mystery. I mean, I kind of forgot about that. That was, I'll give that, was really bad. Spirits Within, but I also honorable mention Mystery of Mamo.
Really?
It had too many overly flashy
I
sequences.
wouldn't
Oh, yeah,
necessarily say that
that's
makes
true.
it badly
Yeah.
animated, though.
I think it's
I
just
would
a
say
weird
the overall
choice.
production. It's a weird choice, and
Oh, yeah.
like definitely something before we realized maybe let's not give people seizures when they can see a movie.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe.
But I would say overall, on like a at least aesthetic and technical level, it's cohesive. It looks nice, and you know there's some nice animation sequences in
Yeah,
there.
because I remember from Mr. Mao, I think it was Shaun that noticed it. There were some like animation errors with things repeated or something.
I think that was Gundam,
That would be Gundam.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause there were
They,
ones in
they
Gundam.
reused a
Yeah.
lot of shots.
which I was tempted when I was thinking about this. I was tempted to like use like Gundam as like the worst, even though it's not really the worst because it's
Yeah.
not badly animated. but-
Again, that's where it doesn't work as a movie because they would have reused all of those because they were working on like a week to week.
Yeah,
you
on
know,
that
airing
point, it's
schedule.
understandable. So I don't feel like it's fair to put that in the worst
Yeah.
animation. But I did think about it a little bit.
Final Fantasy. I was like, I know what I'm gonna say. There you go.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, so I also
Self-explanatory.
have Spirits Within. I also have Dragon Dentist. I did not like it for the most part. I think aesthetically, it's not got any consistency in terms of like color palette, and also it does have some CG moments that don't work for me. I didn't like it.
I feel like I went through most of my thoughts just there, but like I said, I can't really put Gundam as like really the worst one, so I'll put Spirits Within again.
That's fair. That was another like hard one where like I was scrolling through and I'm like, we've not watched anything I'd consider like truly, except Spirits Within, like awful to
Yeah.
watch in
Same.
terms of
I
animation.
had the same. Yes, I was like, I don't think there's anything really bad.
I had the same with like music and story. Like it was
Yeah.
really hard to pick out specific ones that we've watched that I was like, oh, these are fucking terrible. Other than Spirits Within.
Yeah.
So now best music.
There's none where I was like, oh, this one particular one had amazing music, but there are moments that I remember.
Okay.
And Vampire Hunter D had a very cool moment. And I just really like the Idol song from Perfect Blue.
That's fair.
But it works.
I
in
mean,
the
it's
way
good.
that- yeah.
It is really good.
So those two I would give it to. Just because they're funky.
I have Spirited Away.
Ah,
I don't know,
yeah.
what's the name of the composer?
Joe Hisaishi.
Yes, and it's just good. Like it's
Yeah,
it works.
He's done basically every
every Ghibli. Right?
Miyazaki movie from Ghibli, and he has a definitive sound.
Yeah.
So that's I didn't even think of that.
I had to think about. I was like, what is the best music? And I just remember.
I have three,
Probably
and I'd
good.
say all of them are fairly different. So I have the first. I think that's like the
Yeah.
best Yuji Ono soundtrack that we've heard so far for Lupin. Promare because Hiroyuki Sawano is one of my favorite composers, and Ghost in the Shell because
Yeah, fair.
that's like iconic.
Yeah,
Two
yeah.
of your answers were the answers I was going to go for. I feel like it sounds like I'm copying you guys, and I'm not. It's just we all just sort of sync
I'm not
up.
copying you.
I swear I'm not. Because I was also going to go with Ghost in the Shell. Like, because it's honestly just like that opening sort of music that, the iconic one that always sticks in my head.
It's a
all the
piece that
time.
moves through the film as
Yeah.
well, so like it keeps coming back and like evolves, and I think that makes it feel like a nice kind of whole thing. That's not a useful description.
It all
I
comes
get
full
it.
circle,
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Sort of rounds out the film.
Yeah, because I cut in the proper, I think, Japanese track from the Japanese release that has like the full ending where it doesn't randomly cut to like a Kasabian song or something like that. Because for some reason on the US release, and I think the UK one as well, as soon as like she stops talking and then like it pans up over the side and it fades to the credits, there's just some fucking other song crashes in.
Imagine if they had Smash Mouth.
No.
Somebody.
Much lost potential.
Yeah. What could have been?
So for worst music, and I feel bad about this, but I remember not liking the way music was used in Galaxy Express 3.9.
Really?
I know.
I feel wounded.
There were times where I was like, it doesn't feel the vibe. It's not. It clashed a bit too much for me. So it was just that, and that's the only one that stood out that I talked about the fact that I didn't like it.
I had a feeling you would say that.
It's the only one where I remembered distinctly having moments like, what the fuck? I mean, Spirits Within, once again, just use the most generic shit. So it's much worse than Galaxy Express 3.9, but I don't want to give every worst to Spirits Within. So there you go.
But it deserves it.
I know it deserves it. But it's just very, one tone if I just say the same thing over and over.
Well, yeah, if you think about music, you can remember. I can remember bits and pieces from every movie, but not from Final Fantasy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like I also.
So that says a lot. So Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Spirits
Again,
Within.
I also have Spirits Within because I genuinely don't remember anything other than it's an orchestral thing.
It sucks because Final Fantasy usually has really good music.
Exactly. That's what I said. Like when we were recording it, it's like they had Nobuo Uematsu there, and they didn't fucking use it.
No,
Why? Because of a dispute,
I
paying.
don't know.
Yeah.
Like they built a whole studio in Hawaii. They moved Hironobu Sakaguchi over there. He also developed Final Fantasy IX from there at the same time. So, and Nobuo Uematsu worked on 9. So I don't get how they then just couldn't have him work on the movie. It makes no fucking sense.
Who made the movie? Who produced the movie?
Elliot Golden. Oh wait, hold on. You mean like production as
Yeah.
in
Like the how like Sony or.
Well, Square set up their own picture studio, and then it was distributed by. It was distributed by Sony, but like they had exclusivity over Final Fantasy. At the time.
Yeah. That's very weird. Because then another Final Fantasy movie came out, right? Like
they had Advent Children.
Yes, that's it.
Which would have been who composed for 7? Was it Nobuo Uematsu? Yeah. No.
I think so. No.
Yeah, it was Nobuo Uematsu.
I think so. I'm not an expert.
Yeah, he worked on it up until 10, and then it was like after that other composers started coming in. So he worked on that. He worked on the Advent Children, and then it was whoever worked on 15 that done the Kingsglaive movie, which is the other one.
Just to confirm, he was the composer for 7.
I thought that, yeah, because it's 10 where they started bringing in like other people to work on it either with him or independently.
Yeah.
I also put Dragon Dentist because there were just so many moments like I think like you had with 3.9 where it didn't quite work with what was happening on screen. I will also give it to Gundam purely because they had an absolutely stellar soundtrack from the TV show and basically barely ever used it. Like there's very little musical.
So that's your this was an insult entry.
That was an insult because like I watched the movies and I was like, you get the iconic like narration piece at the start, and then there's almost no music used throughout the rest of it. There's like very little like use of the actual soundtrack throughout the movie. So yeah.
Did you just?
I heard bop bops.
I just went.
Thank you, Manuele, for that.
Is that a clap?
So
Is that my cue to move on?
It's a clap.
Next person.
It wasn't until you mentioned Dragon Dentist I realized I can't remember a single piece of music from that movie.
I remember it switches like between electronic and like symphonic pieces.
I genuinely can't. I just genuinely can't. Like even with Spirits Within, I can remember at least like the end credits song. Dragon Dentist, nothing. So I guess I got to give it on that.
Oh yeah, Spirits Within had like a end credits song
that was so early 2000s.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It's the only reason I remember it.
That
would have made
every
that
movie finished.
It's a new
Rock
law.
star.
It was the era when every movie ended in like a dance party. So.
Yeah.
It's still a thing.
It's still a thing?
Yes. Doesn't like Sing. We watched like a lot of Pixar Disney movies and DreamWorks.
I was gonna
And
say
one
Sing
time-
is not either of those.
Is it Illumination?
I think it's Elimination.
Yeah. Like all the
It's called
Shreks.
Sing. Of course, I have a dance party.
All the Shreks end with a dance party, I think.
Yeah.
But that's Shrek. They're not making new Shrek movies.
Yeah, they are.
Are they? They are.
Was it Ever After? What was the last one? The fourth
The fourth one, yeah.
Ever
Shrek
After,
Forever
I think.
After.
Ever
Yeah.
After. That was.
I heard they were
but-
making a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be, but like it's
There was,
been
like,
a
a-
decade and a
Yeah.
half.
I haven't seen the Puss in Boots movie. I've heard it's very good.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
But
a
at
lot
the
of
end,
things.
apparently there's a
There's a
little,
tease.
little tease
Oh,
for
for
a
the love
possible
of
new
God. Does he
Shrek.
We have to
walk in
put
and go-
together a Shrek Vengers.
Does he
The
walk in and go?
Avenger.
I'm here. I'm here to talk to you about the swamp initiative.
I'm Mumbo. Oh my God, it's Mumbo. Sorry.
He just shows up full Iron Man suit. He's like, I am Shrek.
It's me, Blorpo.
That's it. The classic MCU meme.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Back to the awards show.
Yeah, I talked about music.
Best story.
Best story.
Surprise for me, Perfect Blue.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was also just to say right now,
Drifting
I was
Home.
also going to go with Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
I have a few Perfect Blue awards in here, so
Yeah.
There were some Lupins that were like contesting, but you know, Perfect Blue.
I like the Lupin movies, but I don't think any of them, excluding the first, have like really stellar stories.
It was gonna be the first.
Yeah,
It was gonna be a Lupin.
Cagliostro has like a decent story,
Yeah.
but it's not fantastic. I mean,
No.
there's also the whole Clarice thing, which we'll just not talk about right now.
Refuse to mention that again. It's in the clause of the show. We
Yeah.
don't mention that again.
So Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Perfect Blue as well.
Perfect
Blue.
Ghost in the Shell is like a second.
Surprise,
choice.
surprise! I'm guessing you guys know what I'm about to say. It's
Yeah.
Ghost in the
Ghost in the
Shell.
Wow, I'm shocked.
A movie that does not leave my mind, like at any given
I feel
time.
like, I feel like we watched a really good, like a masterpiece,
Mhm.
and then the rest is just like.
That was my thing. I was looking
oh,
back and I'm
I
like,
feel like,
we
I feel
have
like
not.
There's a, an imbalance.
Yeah.
You have Akira and Ghost in the Shell, and you have like Dragon Dentist.
Yeah. Well, someone refuses to watch Pat Labor, so you know,
What?
What?
it's another masterpiece.
Oh, what is
We
it?
talked about this.
We
Oh,
have
did
talked
we?
about this.
Yeah.
You
Carl.
outright refused to watch
Pat
it.
Labor.
Carl.
Pat Labor.
Is it
Or
sci-fi?
Pat
again?
Labor.
It's also Mamoru Oshii. That's what
Okay.
he directed before Ghost in the
Alright.
Shell. It's
Don't know.
like it's sort of similar to Gundam.
I can
Oh,
see
well,
you.
that's why then.
I can see you desperately trying to remember, and you're just like,
And
oh,
as soon as it's like Gunner, I was like, well,
It's
yeah, that's
more
why.
it's more grounded than Gundam though, at least.
you good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just my
Someone
fear,
punched the
baby.
mic.
Can we
Very
not get
cumbersome.
into this? Please. We
I almost on instinct said, well, you know what they say about big feet.
oh, I was gonna go the gripper
We're talking
direction.
about
Okay.
talking about
I
awards
just
here.
gripped. Oh, sorry.
don't. So best story.
Best story. Shaun. Wait, you
Final
said
Yeah, I
Fantasy.
said.
What?
I said Perfect Blue.
Oh.
perfectly.
Fair.
Right.
Worst story.
Spirits Within.
Here's within.
Also, I have Dragon Dentist as well.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, I think that's a.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Full
to be fair, I didn't
agreement.
watch it, but I almost considered it for the worst one.
Yeah.
I was like, because from what you told me,
You walked
I
in
was
at
like,
some
it
point.
sounds like
Yeah. You walked in and
Madness.
the evil lady was there. You were like, oh, who's that? I was like, that's a cavity.
She
Yeah,
had
it-
so much potential. Like she was like the. You could see people standing that villain.
Oh,
In
yeah.
any other.
I can see the
Yeah.
fan art for better or for worse.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
in any other production, and yet they failed.
I also showed you the airplane sequence.
Oh yeah, that makes
Oh, yeah,
no
yeah,
fucking
that was it.
sense.
That broke the entire fucking universe.
They're like, it's in this world. They have a battle. They're on top of a dragon. And then it's
Narration.
like, we have a little break. I'm like, okay, little break. It's like, she's in an airplane. I'm like, what?
I still don't know if she's meant to be writing.
The dragon
The
ate the
movie.
typhoon.
No, because the dragon's right outside that place.
I know,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like not. I don't think it's the same dragon as the thing. And she's writing
was.
something about the dragon dentist
Yeah.
on her laptop, so I don't know. Anyway,
No, let's not get into that. No. Worst story, Spirits Within and Dragon Dentist. I
Yeah,
think that's
agree.
an
I was gonna
overall-
is that
Dragon
unanimous?
Dentist. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
So
favorite
favorite character.
Y'all already know.
For she's had good moments. She's had bad moments.
We've been through
Dear
her ups and
old
downs.
Fujiko.
She has her own entries on this list for good reason.
Yeah, we'll get there.
She's very prominently featured in many movies, but when she's good, she's really good.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's all I
yeah.
gotta say.
I have two. I mean, one of because nostalgia, so it's Jigen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Major from Ghost in the Shell.
For Ghost in the Shell.
Good, yeah.
Mine is Captain Harlock from Galaxy Express and Bato from Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
He's not
Oh, yeah,
prominently
yeah.
in
Yeah, yeah.
the movie, but he's really good at the TV show. So
I want to rep my boy Zenigata.
Zenigata, yeah.
He's
Also,
my
I thought about him, but
yeah,
Yeah.
also
F.
honorable
Jigen.
mention to like half of the cast of
Oh,
Lupin,
yeah.
to be
Yeah.
honest.
It could have just been Lupin, but nah, Zenigata brings me joy every single second he's on screen.
Because he complements Lupin as a character so well.
Yeah.
Like that dynamic. We've talked so much about their dynamic as two characters. It just works.
It works.
Yeah, exactly.
Like no matter what situation you put them in, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Even
Yeah.
in Mystery of Mama, which is by far the worst of the
Oh,
Lupin
yeah,
movies we've
100%.
seen, his parts are still the best parts
Yeah,
of the movie.
100%. So do we have a worst character?
We have most annoying MC later.
Yeah, so I think we'll just push that to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So then we have Make Me Cry Like a Little Bitch.
Yes.
I'll start off with not many, but
But
Drifting Home.
yeah,
When the
fair.
grandpa died, that was
Yeah.
the moment where I was close. I was like, "How fucking dare you!
Ow.
Stop it!"
I'm not
it's a
having
bad-
a good day.
It's a bad recording session for the mics.
Yeah,
I have none applicable.
Not applicable. You're
You heartless bastard.
I swear, maybe some. I don't. I try to think about it. Like, I might have felt sad, but
see this.
We're all just sort of crying at a movie, and you're just like, it's a cartoon. You idiots."
my biggest problem with this is that movies make me cry, I think, a little too easily.
I've learned that about myself just through this show.
I already knew that. So that made picking this like really hard, but like I think the top ones because I've seen them before, and so like it's a challenge to then make me cry again. And Pancreas and Wolf Children both achieved that.
yeah.
I had like a three-way tie on this.
Oh wow.
Because I had Wolf Children, because again, that just hit
Yeah.
me. The final act of Drifting Home just sent me in
Yeah,
tears.
I got an honorable mention for Drifting Home. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember if it actually made me cry or if I felt like crying.
It genuinely put me to tears, which was kind of rare. Even when I was close to the other movies, this one actually got me
Yeah.
to tears by the end. So
I was a blubbering fucking mess during Pancreas and Wolf Children.
and Pancreas was the other one.
Yeah.
Because that ending just fucking hits you.
It's not even
Yeah.
like just the ending, it's that whole last act where she just fucking dies.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's the cancer." No.
Well, it's not
oh no, it's not
cancer,
cancer.
she has a
pancreas
pancreas disease.
Yeah.
So-
That
And
I'm
then-
like,
Don't go into
I
too much
don't
detail.
think that would kill her.
yeah.
Shut up, it's for the story.
Come on. Fuck. Then after that, we have our favorite category, the
Longest
honorable
Hitler.
mention of the longest Hitler cameo.
Because
Yay.
it came up more than once.
Twice, 3 times.
I think twice. We've had
Yeah.
it was Mamo
Mama
and
was the
first.
most egregious.
But the
Mamo-
longest one.
Longest one is the first.
The first.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's
It's
done.
not really
It's not really
Hitler.
Hitler.
No, it's done. It's weird to say this in the context of Hitler, but it's done
Don't say it's done
better.
tastefully.
No, it's done better in the first.
There's a little asterisk next to his name, and it's like really Lupin.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah,
look at the
yeah.
fine print.
exactly. So I think we have to give it to Lupin the First,
Yeah.
just because it's technically Hitler. We believe it's Hitler for the longest
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't believe
So
a
it's a
second of it, but you know.
collective. Then we have the lovely category worst Fujiko.
Worst
Yeah.
And also with the next
I don't
category,
know.
best Fujiko, which we can do in just one go. I think.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah,
we all
easy.
know
Mamo.
Mamo.
I have I've written Dead or Alive, but I think I meant Nostradamus as like a runner-up, where
yeah,
she
yeah.
is like brainwashed.
Yeah, she's,
Oh,
yeah.
she's sort of like hypnotized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though she kind of isn't, because there's that one weird scene where it seems like she isn't.
Yeah.
When she's supposed to be.
It's kind of confusing.
Nostradamus is not that great in the middle.
No.
No. So I think best Fujiko for me Castle Cagliostro.
I had the first, but I also wrote
That's our
Cagliostro is
second, yeah.
valid
I was
as well.
exactly the same. I was exactly the
Yeah.
same. I put the first just above it. But like
I
Cagliostro
think
was a
for
great
me-
introduction.
I hate that I'm going to say this, but it's the plane scene for me that seals it in the first.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
What's the place?
She gets undressed.
What do you think?
We
happened?
don't
Weird.
see it. We don't see it.
It's done tastefully.
But it's like that way that it like we watched that after Mamo, and so
Yeah.
it was like
Very
Anything is good at
It
this
was
point.
it was the best sort of palate
Yeah.
cleanser.
it was that scene that really kind of set that this is real Fujiko because she was acting like how we expected her to act.
Yeah.
Moving on.
And moving on.
So then we have the worst scene to watch.
Oh no.
Are we all in agreement that it's the rape scene from Perfect Blue?
Yes.
Second.
So
I'm sorry.
What was
I
worse?
Huh?
have. You go first.
I think we're the same one. We haven't
Yeah.
talked about it, but
I-
it's a
I
sex
labeled
scene
it-
from Wolf's
I
Children.
labeled it as it's wolfing time.
I'm sorry. You thought that watching consensually
A woman have sex with a
You know-
wolf.
was
It's a
worse
wolf,
than
wolf, half
watching
man guy.
someone get raped. I can't fathom this.
If I think back on both, I would rather sit through an
You'd rather watch
artistic- Yes, I would. Than bestiality.
I know what I'm choosing as the lesser of two evils. I'm gonna be honest.
No, because I can't think back on Wolf. That particular scene is like they could have done it in a human way. Why did they choose to do it as a wolf?
They do
I,
like half of. They do
Oh,
like
God.
half as a human. If I remember right.
No.
Yeah, they do.
So it was too much for me. It tainted the whole movie.
Wow.
But-
wow.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know how to even process that.
I don't want to continue this one.
No.
Let's
Okay.
move on to most sexualized character sans Fujiko.
Sans Fujiko,
So
yeah.
I have Aina from Promare because that was the only character I could actually think of.
She's
that
one of the
got-
two.
Yeah.
that I have,
Well,
yeah.
who's the other one?
Penguin Highway.
That was interesting because I thought about that and I was like, they talk about her boobs a lot, but like she's not. I wouldn't say her as a character we see in any kind of sexual way.
I disagree. I think I had a whole rant on her boobs during that episode.
Did you?
I mean, you said that. Yeah, you understand why he.
Yeah, but the way they animated her boobs was too sexualized to me. Maybe it's an anime trait that I just don't want to get used to.
I mean, fair.
The over jiggliness of boobs.
I honestly don't even remember them jiggling that much.
Of which one? What movie?
Penguin Highway. Remember how the kid was
yeah.
obsessed?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I remember the
Jiggle
kid being
dynamics.
obsessed with them, but I don't remember her being overly sexualized.
Just
Yeah.
from his perspective. And they kind of invite you as an audience to also see it, but you're like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. That's how I experience it at least.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, Promare Girl, visually more sexualized.
Yes.
yeah.
We get full ass
Full ass.
as her
For some reason,
introduction.
she poses in a really sexualized way in like a sort of mech thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Like her mech seat
Uh-huh.
is just making her sit in the worst way.
Yeah.
Like we talked about it. Can't be comfortable. Is done purely so we have a nice ass shot.
Yeah.
She's double cheeked up at a fire scene.
I have the girl from Perfect Blue, but it's sexualized in a different way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an interesting one because
It's
that's like a
more of a-
story purpose
Yeah, it's
type
like for
thing.
the story.
Yeah.
But I think I was thinking about,
Narratively.
like
Yeah.
how many nude scenes do you see or almost? I was like, well, that's
Yeah,
the one for me.
'cause we
the
talked
sexy
about
photo
in-
shoot and
Yeah.
the rape scene as well.
Yeah.
We talked about nudity in Perfect Blue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say a lot, but we made mention of how it was like kind of a non-sexualized version. Like it wasn't shown to us as like, ooh, look,
Yeah,
boob. It was more like
she was
the
involved in a lot
audience.
of like sexualized moments with nudity,
Yeah.
but we as an audience were never really asked
Yeah.
to view it in that way.
Yeah,
I think that's why I
right.
didn't
It was
think
more to
of it.
highlight vulnerability.
Yeah.
Than just
Yeah.
like
Oh, okay.
sexualized.
Well, the girl apparently from Vampire D.
I mean,
Apparently,
That makes sense.
she was hot. The guy was like, "Oh, I love your skin tight red suit." I'm like, I didn't notice that at all. But apparently, other people were sexualizing it.
I have no
Huh?
idea.
What?
Remember the one of the three.
Oh, the one that looked like the Darkstalkers character.
Yes.
Ah,
No.
okay. No?
The girl that in the end dies, and you see her granddaughter.
Oh,
You know, the other guy, the guy.
the hunter girl.
Dungo's friend.
Yeah. The other guy was like, "Oh, I love you look sexy or something. Your skin tight, red suit." I was like, I did not notice that at all. You thought it wasn't?
I think it's one of the girls that died very quickly, wasn't she? Or
No.
oh,
This is
fuck.
the
I'm so
the main
confused.
The main
girl.
character.
Oh.
The main girl.
She gets wounded
Remember-
and
Oh yeah.
they have
I
that
get
whole
it.
conversation in the cave
Oh,
where
but-
he's very much like,
Yes,
look,
and I was
am
like, I didn't
half
realize.
covered in mud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like speaking from the mud. You're hot.
No, but it wasn't him. It wasn't.
It wasn't
Dungo.
him.
It was the other guy.
It wasn't Dungo. Okay, that's
It wasn't Dungo.
no Dungo.
No Dungo. Where were we?
Most what the fuck story.
Wait, was your one?
No, I agreed with all of you
Okay.
guys.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, most what the fuck story. I had Akira or Perfect Blue.
Real, I did this more from a perspective of what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
Oh
same.
yeah, I had like in a what the fuck in a bad way.
Yeah,
Okay.
because what the fuck in a good way. I'll give it to Perfect Blue and what's the director's name? The other Millennium Actress.
Millennium Actress was-
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Watch
there was trippy like Perfect Blue. That would
Okay.
be my.
Okay, so
what the fuck
Yeah.
I will
positive?
adjust. I have Akira and Perfect Blue complimentary.
Yeah, come
We'll
on.
get to derogatory
Yeah.
in a second when I see what you guys have said.
So yeah, for derogatory, Mystery of Mama.
Fair,
'cause
very fair.
It was a lot of what the fuck.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll put Mamo under
Yeah.
derogatory as well.
I was tempted, I was like, Spirits Within, maybe, but that's just bad.
That's just bad. That's
Is it
not.
not what the fuck?
No,
Yeah,
it's
My guy.
You understood what was going on. You just hated it.
it's
Yeah.
not what the fuck. It's just what.
Yeah.
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 Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, I also have Hello World because at the end
Yeah.
I was
Oh, yeah.
That makes
absolutely.
sense.
Turtles
was-
all the way down.
Simulation inside a simulation.
Inside a
yeah.
simulation. Inside a simulation. Oh, okay, I'm gonna turn the echo off.
Yeah.
Most what the fuck moment.
Uh,
So I have a
have-
couple.
Yeah,
I
I
have-
didn't say my what the fuck story.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Go.
You just completely skipped me.
Like you came in with no
Well, I have no
list,
notes,
so,
so you can-
yeah,
Yeah, but you still got to give me my turn. You don't know what I could come up with.
on the spot.
on the spot.
So I was going to mention Adieu Galaxy Express. Like the final part of that movie just made me go, what?
where it
Oh,
turns into
yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it turns into Star Wars and like it turns into like 2001 in a weird way as well.
Yeah.
It's like she is the planet and we fuel on the souls, or am I mixing things up?
Something like
that's,
Oh my
well,
God.
it's weird because Adieu is also a rehash of the first movie at the same time. Because like the first one ends with them destroying planet Maytel,
Yeah.
which is also
By like the sort of queen.
yeah, who's the planet.
Who's also the
itself.
planet,
She's
yeah.
basically Unicron.
You see, I got that.
Yeah.
It's the second one where like they add in that and like Maytel comes back as like the queen somehow.
Oh, can we also talk about the Auschwitz trains that they have in Adieu as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. Did I
No,
watch it?
you watched-
I
you
watched
watched the first one,
I watched the first one.
That's
Yeah.
the good one, so you know.
Yeah.
You didn't-
I think Adieu has like one really great moment, and that's where they cross between the galaxies. That's like a really cool sequence.
yeah.
Again, that taps into
But it's also
2001.
what the
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
It's also what the fuck, yeah.
So the moments. Shall I start?
If you want, yeah.
Just the over sexualization of Fujiko. General, what the fuck? Hitler salute from Lupin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
When the boy from the Pancreas movie assaults.
Oh, yeah.
Never given reason
Yeah.
for how or why.
It just moves on.
It just
Yeah.
moves on. And then finally, the nipple boop.
Oh, yeah, the nipple boop.
From Mamo.
From Mr.
Oh,
Mom.
from
At some point, Lupin
yeah, yeah, good.
boops
Yeah.
the nipple.
Yeah.
Which we unfortunately had a whole conversation about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I had the Eat Your Pancreas pin down. I also have It's Wolfing Time 2 Electric Boogaloo. So you can see I actually wrote down it. Beast Boogaloo. So I mean, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So I have Scottish accents and Dragon Dentist dub.
Oh, yeah. You
I
missed
didn't
this.
watch that.
I also didn't watch it dubbed, so I didn't know.
I put it on dub because I was not fucking paying attention in Japanese.
Yeah.
How do they justify it?
They don't. They
Oh,
just.
I listened to the episode. Yeah, you
Is it
talked about
out?
right? Is it
Yeah,
It should be out,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Because I remember some. Yeah, okay, yeah.
They,
Well, too bad I
it's-
missed it. I gotta watch
They
it.
just
now.
like end up on the ground and suddenly the people that they're with from their country are Scottish and I'm like, but none of your people are Scottish. I also have Brain Go Space.
Brain Ghost Space.
Brain
Brain
Ghost
Ghost
Space.
Space.
Giant Brain Ghost
Yeah.
Space.
From Akira.
Mamo.
Mamo?
Remember his giant
Mother Brain from Metroid is
Oh,
saying.
And then I have Elevator Murder from Perfect Blue, because that
right.
just totally...
That was going to be my one.
Ah.
I was like,
Yeah.
finally, I can get like a unique one that's really good. And you just said that right at the
Shaun,
end.
you must continue to steal from others.
Because that scene happens and I'm like, oh, I forgot this movie's intense.
I guess I could sort of like, this is more what the fuck story, but I guess Millennium Actress's whole entire like thing as well.
Yeah.
Made me
That
sort of just
structure
go,
is
what the
really
fuck, go out.
strange.
I think a general.
I woke up too early today.
Sorry if we're boring you.
Yeah.
You didn't have me get my coffee. You didn't let me get my coffee.
I told you want to get a coffee, then might have your coconut milk. You're like, no.
There's Monster in the fridge if you want caffeine.
No, I'm okay.
Moving on to a lovely category called most likely to make me check my phone.
Yay.
And that's Gundam and Promare for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that for you.
I have Gundam as well.
I think no one needs to guess what mine was.
Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on my phone because I had it on the dub. I was on my phone
You're like,
constantly.
fuck it.
Yeah.
I was also on Dragon Dentist and Gundam, but surprisingly enough, and I know it's a good movie, but I was still doing it the whole time. Akira.
That's fair.
Yeah,
It does
is
sort
slow
of.
at times.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. Yeah.
I think I have. Did I have Akira for like a weird category? No. But yeah, Akira, like, it kind of just gives up halfway through in terms
Yeah.
of like trying to be a story, and it's just
About
like a
20 minutes
spectacle
then, I was
piece.
like, I'm not gonna get this, am I? I'm just gonna go on my fucking phone.
Because I think when we
I did watch
watched-
the movie. It's just, you know, it was hard after a while.
Yeah, when we watched it for the podcast, it was the third time I'd watched it, and I was no closer to understanding what the fuck was happening.
Yeah.
Promare. Then we have Overstayed Its Welcome.
Oh yes.
Dragon Dentist and Gundam.
I have Dragon Dentist and something that's not been mentioned yet, Ghost Stories.
Oh.
Oh wait, can you use Ghost Stories?
Yeah.
We can.
Oh,
I think we've just
so
all
many.
I think we've all purged it from our
I was going to
memory,
save
though.
Ghost Stories for that most annoying MC one later.
That's fair. I think you're maybe in the position of like you've only seen one episode.
It's not that much like behind you guys. You only watched like 5 at most.
I watched 3 and Melina watched 6.
did I also watch that?
I originally said watch 6 if you can, and I watched 3 and went no.
But to be fair, I don't think it's that bad. It's like the dubbing that really makes it
Yeah.
100 times worse. So it's
Worse and better, weirdly, to me.
no. I have Mamo for Overstayed Its Welcome.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's quite
Because the
long.
1500 endings.
Yeah, the
Now
ending
it's over.
overstays the
Now the
welcome.
movie's over. No, now it's over.
No, okay, now wait, give it one more. They're running. Okay, they're running away into the distance. Okay, new scene.
Hold on.
New
I've
scene.
got a new
Hold on, the
ending here.
bombs are coming down. This is definitely the.
Yeah.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
no. Oh. Okay, nipple boob short. That's catharsis, maybe.
I was also going to put like Dragon Dentist, but I also had another one that's also not been mentioned right now, Jinro.
Yes.
Because
okay.
although I'm not sure if I'm just conflating that with it being so fucking slow.
No, I think
Yeah.
that's definitely fair. Like, if the second act was better,
Yeah.
then, you know, it would have been a good movie.
yeah.
Yeah. My category, my personal category.
Oh, yeah, most feminist
What
moment.
does it mean?
Yeah.
You
Which
can go on.
I had a lot of trouble picking one for.
It's the as I would say this, or my generation would, the big slay moment.
The what?
Slay.
The big slay moment.
I'm technically part of your generation, and I have no idea what the fuck you're on about.
I think I have an idea what you're talking about, so
Which I hate to say, it was difficult to pick.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is one thing that we should have like figured out by now, a whole season into this, is that anime's not the most feminist.
No.
No way. What?
What? The over-sexualizing
we
of
had a whole
women and
category
children.
about sexualization earlier.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's just, Fujiko has some really good moments in Cagliostro.
Yeah.
And that being my introduction to her as a character, for me, was like, yeah.
Yes, queen.
Yeah! You didn't watch Cagliostro? I mean, you've seen it, right?
Probably years ago. We're not this
Wow.
time around.
Watch it again. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I had Fujiko News Report from
Yeah.
Cagliostro.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
favorite.
yeah.
But I also got to give a shout out to just like most of Ghost in the Shell's
True.
for major
Yeah.
scenes. That fight scene, and the with the when she goes invisible and like just full on takes the guy out. Love that scene.
That's great. I'll add that to the feminist.
It goes in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Then
I was also going to put the Cagliostro Fujiko News report.
Fujiko News.
Purely for the turns around shoots continuous reporting.
Yeah.
There's
that's
professionalism.
Yeah,
Exactly.
professionalism. Like murder, but professional. You know?
Yes, Queen.
I mean, she
Yeah.
is technically a professional murderer anyway.
Yeah, you know. And then most annoying main character.
I already said mine.
Yeah. Is it Tetsuro or Tetsuo from Galaxy Express?
Oh, that's
It's one of the
one's Akira and one's Galaxy
two. Yep,
Express.
and we watched them after each
Yeah,
other.
we did.
Tetsuo is Akira and Tetsuro
Yeah, it's
is
Tetsuo.
Galaxy
Yeah.
Is what I
Express.
think of Galaxy Express.
Just Maytel constantly yelling that drove me insane.
That's not his fault.
Yeah, that's
But
Maytel.
he didn't make up for it.
He's a child.
Yeah, I didn't like him because he was a stupid ass child.
I love the journey that Tetsuro goes through in Galaxy Express.
Meh.
Like, he is just full on exposed to the worst shit.
Yeah. But he was annoying to me.
Okay.
And sense
Yeah,
conflict.
I mean, I just realized we could use ghost stories, but I had to think about it, and I think the main kid from Promare, it was just annoying to me.
Oh, Gallo.
I don't even know. I think so. I think that's what's his name.
I mean, there's a couple of main people in
Yeah,
Promare.
yeah.
That's
Is it the
like
shirtless
the
guy?
main guy, the main
Shirtless-
kid.
Yeah, I think that's him.
the guy that...
It was
that-
just annoying. There was
That's
like,
the-
like
Gonna
a-
be the greatest
like a-
firefighter of all time.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
I love
I don't
Gallo.
yeah. He's annoying as shit, but
But
I
I
like
had to
that.
think about it because I don't think there is many like
Oh, I have a couple.
characters. Yeah.
Yeah. I have
Oh, you probably
Ami
remind
from
me.
Wolf Children, the brother.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
Raina from Drifting Home, the little spoiled kid.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Disney World. She was like, "I'm gonna go to Florida.
Yes.
You're
Oh.
not coming to Florida
And she
with
like
me."
outright
After a
refuses to go into survival mode when they're stuck on the.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest, after a while I just found her fucking hilarious instead of
Yeah.
annoying.
And
Like,
then,
how are you alive?
And then Amuro. I fucking hate First Gundam Amuro
Oh yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Also, the babies from
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
those are
fuck them.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
you didn't get properly introduced to the babies, but they're little shit.
I wish they had jettisoned them.
Yeah.
They should have
hate
left them on the fucking moon. Like, why did
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
For context, the moon is like an actual base. They were just gonna land on the moon and leave them.
I'm also maybe not annoying is the right word, but is it Bright that does like the fucking slaps all the time?
Oh, yeah.
He's a dick. I hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like, this is the thing where like you need to see the original Gundam to like understand what happens in Zeta and Double Zeta.
Yeah.
I
But
wish we didn't.
yeah, I wish you didn't, because no one is good in this.
Except what's the girl best friend character?
Frau?
Frau, yeah, she seemed alright. Well,
Okay, yeah,
everyone
Frau,
was just throwing
Sayla,
shit on her.
and Char are like
Yeah.
top tier characters.
I'm focusing on Frau because everyone just throws shit at her and she can't deal with it, but she gets on with it
Yeah.
anyway. So respect.
Yeah.
Because she takes care of the little shits. Because nobody else bothers.
Exactly.
And I gotta give respect.
So
Yeah.
most dumb fun next.
All of Lupin.
All of
That's
Lupin.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also Vampire Dungo.
Really?
Vampire Dungo.
It was the movie when I just turned my phone off, my head off, completely my brain off. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have Promare and Akira, because
Oh, I mean,
Akira is
that's
just
good
nice
too,
to
yeah.
look at.
Yeah.
But it makes no fucking sense.
There's a big baby at the end. Is there a big baby at the end? Of
There's a
the
big baby at some point. It's like in the middle,
Right.
I think.
I don't know. I
It's
really
when they
like-
go to like the nursery, I think, and he's trying to get Canada back. Canada, I don't know.
With a K.
Yeah, with a K, with an E instead of an A as well.
Oh, Canada.
There's like a big baby, I think.
There's a big baby.
Big baby.
Oh no,
Big
does he
baby.
regress into a baby as well during like the final universe
This
It
is
might
separation
be
sequence?
melting with the big baby or something.
Yeah.
Look, there's also a big baby in Spirited Away. I'm mixing them up. I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big babies.
What is it with anime? We have as many Hitler cameos
Let's
as
not,
big baby cameos.
Let's not go into anime and the babies thing, because that's a whole other topic of conversation
that we can go
Thanks.
into
that we
next
can go
time.
into.
Next
There's
time.
there's a lot of memes
can
around that
imagine,
we'll
yeah.
get to.
I was also going to go with all of Lupin because
Fair.
that entire series
Yeah.
lives off dumb fun, and I was also going to go with Promare.
Yeah.
Fair. Then, most nostalgic feeling. So I have not seen any of these in my childhood, so this was purely vibes.
Yeah.
And I have two, both for different reasons. Lupin, Castle of Cagliostro,
Yep.
just visually gives me nostalgia. Vampire Hunter D.
Really?
How?
Because weirdly,
I like how even you're confused.
the aesthetic reminds me, and like the type of story reminds me of the type of fan fiction I read when I was younger.
Aesthetic reminds you of fan fiction you
Yes.
read.
Honestly, that weirdly makes sense.
I know, right? Yeah.
As someone who's never read fan fiction, I don't get it.
I'm
It's
sad,
just the
I'm
whole
sad to see
bulky
I get
boy.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
vampires.
Bulky boy, damsel distress type of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, vampire weird. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on.
you don't need to know.
No.
I have Galaxy Express.
Oh, same.
That makes sense. That makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense.
Same. There, I can't like quite put into words the sense of nostalgia that film gives me.
When I was here last time, I talked about it because it's something because while Lupin you can see it on the main broadcast channel.
Yeah.
Galaxy Express is like you have to go on the smaller regional like.
Well, that's
cable
interesting
TV.
because you actually have some like reason to then feel that
Yeah.
nostalgia.
Yeah, and I was like, it's something that you just don't know. Like, I remember Sunday afternoon after football games because it's the only thing there wasn't. Like, it was like I don't want to watch football highlights. You would go like regional channels and you would find Galaxy Express. And so the first time I watched, I was like, oh, this is taking me back. Like, it just reminded me a lot of my childhood. I'm talking like 20 years ago.
I sadly do not have a story like that. I just it makes me feel things.
But for me, all of Lupin bar the first. Cause
Yeah, the first is the one with the most like current sheen to it, I'd say.
yeah.
Is the first the one with like CGI?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the 3D animated
I think
one.
that's the newest one we've watched. I think it's the
Yeah.
only post 2000s one.
Yeah,
I think
because
so,
all the other ones
yeah.
are from like the 90s, and you can really feel that. 'Cause,
Yeah. They hadn't transitioned to digital.
yeah, it's probably because I watched a lot of like Pokemon as like a kid, from like first series Pokemon. But I really have a lot of nostalgia for like 90s era anime, even when I've not watched like
Okay,
a
that
lot.
makes sense.
Because I got the weird like feeling from like Ghost in the Shell as well.
Hmm.
Like they're anime that I can weirdly see myself in like another life watching on VHS.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know how to describe it.
I think that's why we use the term nostalgia. Like we can't quite put into words why it makes us feel that way. And so
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh wait, and Jinro as well, because he reminds you of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, makes
So,
sense.
See, General gives me that feeling because of Ghost in the Shell, but I think that's just because they wholesale just tried to rip off Mamoru Oshii. in that movie.
Fair. Yeah. And then Fever Dream. Just most like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Mystery Mama.
I have
Mystery
I have
Mama.
complimentary and derogatory here as well. So Perfect Blue for complimentary,
Yeah.
and then
Right.
Mamo for derogatory.
Basically saying by a Millennium actress as
Yeah.
complimentary.
I guess Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
I'd say like complimentary.
Mm.
But yeah, no. Fever Dream as in waking up the day after. But
Yeah.
What the fuck did I watch last night?
yeah.
Mamu, 100%.
I'll do the same for like the complimentary and derogatory, but I'll also add in a Dude Galaxy Express again. for
That's
that final
fair.
part.
I was like I wanted to do that, but I was also like I don't think it falls in either category for me. Like
It
just
falls in derogatory for me. Because what the fuck?
And I think we've landed at our final category.
We have,
Ooh.
yes.
And that's most divisive.
I didn't
I've
know how to
written-
approach that because I thought like, should I know everyone else's opinion? It's
I think it's how we kind of feel, but then I guess because you haven't really been in
Yeah.
every recording session,
and I haven't
that's-
watched them all.
Yeah. So I have written down one, but I think there's two, and I realize I should have written down both. I think I made your eye twitch there.
I saw
I'm
that.
trying to think, like, which one?
So I have Promare, and then I'm also going to throw in Wolf Children.
Wolf Children was the one I immediately
Yeah,
went
same.
Promare was the one I
Promare as well,
recently knew
yeah.
because I wanted to fucking kill you.
I know it was going to be
Moving
Wolf Children because like I remember I put it as like a 10 out of 10, and I think
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
only 10 out of 10 I've actually given. like on the show.
I don't know. I think we should start writing like a list.
Yeah, we probably
Keep
should.
track.
I just knew that I loved it
Yeah.
and you fucking despised it.
Yeah, like, and again, I can understand really liking it. It just didn't hit the right notes for me, and that's probably because personal experience doesn't really reflect what was
Oh, you
happening.
sound like
Personal.
Wolf Children, and the next thing we're gonna watch for next week is Belle, and it's okay.
dear.
I'm gonna tell you now. It's an adaptation of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
Okay. Are you joining next time, Manuel?
You
After
don't.
hearing
You
this-
don't have to.
But yeah, I think most divisive, both Wolf Children and Promare.
yeah,
Yeah.
Just makes sense.
Yeah. Mostly because of me.
Why you gotta be different?
I'm sorry.
Gotta have
Yeah.
diverse opinions. Ugh.
So I think that's the end of the
Yeah.
award show section. I have a
Best
game that we
award.
were originally gonna play in the first episode. I thought we have a little bit of time that we can use
Yeah.
up here. So I think we'll play it now. I've made
For
some
the special finale episode,
Yes.
we can
Ah.
make this happen.
for the beginning of season 2 and a nice little look back on the first season. So this is, I don't know what to call it.
What the fuck's the name?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a title, and you have to guess whether this is a real anime light novel manga title or if I made it up.
Oh god.
So there's 16 in total, and I'll tell you 8 I made up and 8 are real.
Right.
Oh, this is gonna
Is
be
Wolf Children 2 a thing?
No.
both
So
grandchildren.
I'll tell you
Wolf teens.
most of these are adaptations of like light novels where the titles can get long and weird.
I knew it was
Okay,
gonna be like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
So number 1, Konosuba, God's blessing on this wonderful world. Is that real or did I make it the fuck up?
That sounds real.
It sounds real to me.
Sounds real.
I don't think you could
That's
make that
real.
up.
Yeah.
Number 2, so I followed a rabbit to another world.
True. It's real.
You seem
I
very
think-
confident.
I think
Have
it
you seen
could
it
be,
before?
could be real, and it's like an Alice in Wonderland type
Yeah,
of thing.
I want to lean on fake.
It is fake, and
Oh.
it is Alice in Wonderland.
All
Oh,
right.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
based them off of.
it was another
Did you base all of the fake ones off stuff we already know?
No.
Okay.
3, my life as a secret agent is only just getting started again and again.
Fake. It's
I
gotta
was
be
gonna
fake.
say real until again and again. That sounds
Yeah.
fake.
Real.
It's fake. Anyone want to take a guess what I based that one on?
Oh, a secret agent again.
Is it
and
James
again.
Bond?
It's James
James
Bond.
Ah,
That's where I got again and again
Yeah,
from.
because I was like again, again, reincarnation. Oh, it's Bond.
Number 4, my youth romantic comedy is wrong as I expected.
Real.
yeah.
My youth romantic?
My youth romantic
That
Sounds like
comedy
a
is
stupid
wrong.
translation.
Yes.
So yes.
Yes, that is for some reason the title they went with for the translation of the light novel release in English. The anime was translated as My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu, which makes way more fucking
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Number 5, do you love your mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks?
Real.
Oh.
Your mom and
The
what?
two multi
Say
hit
again,
attacks
sorry?
the boobs.
Say it again.
Do you love your mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks?
Real.
Fake.
I want to believe.
Real. Exactly. I also want to believe.
I'm saying fake.
It's real. They're like stuck in a game. It's like a son and a mom.
Oh wait,
and,
no,
like,
you've shown me this.
I've shown you this. Yeah. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Sounds it, yeah.
6, Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Real.
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
The moment you put Bunny Girl, it's like,
Yeah, I'm like,
real.
yeah.
I
of
could
course.
make that up.
I know you could.
I
but
don't think you would want to.
You wouldn't want to. is
You
the
wouldn't
thing.
want us
You
to
wanna-
know you made that
Yeah.
up.
Exactly.
Number 7, expelled to a desert planet to raise funds for the Empire.
False. It's Star Wars.
This is Star Wars,
False, yeah.
but it also
It's false, but it's done.
Oh,
Ah!
you're right.
Sand!
Sand.
Number 8, Gate, thus the JSDF fought there.
What?
What?
Gate,
Gate?
thus the JSDF fought there.
You made this up. This is impressive.
The
I have to
GSDF?
say real because I don't fucking get it.
JSDF, so Japanese Self-Defense Force.
Oh,
I'm saying real because I don't get it.
I also want to say real.
sure.
It is real. A gate or a portal appears in Japan, and the SDF go in and basically occupy the other world, which is technically a war crime since the SDF is a self-defense.
Yeah,
force.
exactly. They've got a whole constitution that they can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. This sounds like a game.
It's based on a light novel and it got adapted into an anime. I don't think there's a game.
No, I'm not saying it like it was adapted into a game. I'm just saying it sounds like a game I've played like once. Like, is it Half-Life or something? They do something similar. I could be completely wrong.
I mean, it is similar to Half-Life.
It is kind of,
Yeah.
9, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon?
This is real.
Fake. It's the
Fake.
fact that he's
I wanna say
questioning
fake.
it.
I want to say fake.
It's real.
It's
no way.
It's
I
one
know
of my
this is real.
favorite.
You've shown me that as well. I remember you showing me
It's
that.
one of my favorite
In a dungeon.
animes.
In a dungeon.
It's weird because the title is very misleading. It's very much
Yeah.
just an adventure story.
Yeah.
Oh.
10, that time I was almost killed for finding an egg.
Fake.
Come on.
Real. I want to believe.
That is fake. It is
come
Ready
on.
Player One.
I thought it was going to be Jack and the Beanstalk.
It's Ready Player One. Because he almost gets killed at the end for finding the egg.
Yeah. So does Jack and the
Yeah,
Beanstalk.
that's true. Number 11, The Antics of the Coffee Shop Club.
Real.
Real.
It sounds like Doki Doki Literature Club, so I want it to be real.
It's fake. It is Friends.
You're right. It is Friends.
Number 12, you're telling me I'm the one, but this isn't even the real world.
Fake.
Oh, it's fake. It's the Matrix.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Fake.
It's the Matrix.
Sorry, I spoiled it. I thought you were like fake, of course.
13, I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level.
Real.
Me in Minecraft.
Real.
I want it
Please
to
let
be
it
real.
be real.
It's real.
There you go. Is it Dragon Quest or something?
No, it's real.
But is it?
No, that's just what it's called.
Okay.
14, in another world without my powers, but I'll still find love.
Oh, this is tough.
Fake.
Say it again.
In another world without my powers, but I'll still find love.
Real. Real.
It's fake. It
Damn
is
it.
Thor.
Yeah.
Number 15, suppose a kid from the last dungeon boonies moved to a starter town.
Real, because it's fucking stupid.
Fake.
And the ones I've made up
Fake.
aren't fucking stupid.
I was also gonna go fake.
It's real.
Woo!
Hell.
Number 16, Okogi, I'll play a bloody game in this kingdom of deception to take the throne.
It's the fact that there is an Okogi in the beginning. I'm like,
That could
you
be
make her-
misdirection.
Fake.
Exactly.
Fake. Fake.
Gonna go for fake. You try to throw us off with the beginning.
It is fake. It is
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
You're right, it is. That is basically it.
So there we have it. You guys were better than that I expected. Maybe should have done it when we had less anime experience.
Yeah, this is why it was originally for the first episode.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you guys would have been like, yeah, no, that's
No fucking
definitely
way.
real. Thank you guys for a first season. It's been fun doing
It's
this.
been a good
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Stay tuned for more from us in the future. Obviously, like we
Yeah.
said, no break in between the seasons. It's just kind of every year.
You won't even tell their seasons.
No, it'll just be the same thing. It's just a nice
Yeah.
little way of us doing
a bookend.
fun
segue.
stuff
Yeah.
at the
Bookend.
beginning of the year. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode where it's back to regular scheduled anime buffoonery.
Woohoo.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.